when Greg is finally free of Godard, but then he shows up as an actor. This is Cleo from 5 to 7.
I am so thankful that we don't have any more Godard, at least on this list for the top 100. But once we open it up to the 250,
I think the only one is Vive sa vie, which you like.
Yeah, that's true.
So
it's the anomaly.
You are free.
Hello.
Oh wait, let's see. I don't know.
Hello.
I don't want to speak too soon. Let's see. I'm gonna check.
Oh no.
Welcome everyone. By the way, we're on the top 100 of the 2022 list now.
22. So a lot of 80 of these films we already covered for the 2012 list. So we're doing the 20 that are exclusive to this list.
And this is the
bottom.
It's saying internal
oh wait,
server
no, I think it's the
error.
top. I forget.
The Sight and Sound website is down.
Oh no. If you didn't know, I feel like we're so rusty at this. This is the podcast all about the Sight and Sound greatest films of all time list. We're now on the 2022 list. Oh yeah, the Sight and Sound website is down.
So I can't tell you if there are more Godards, but
we're back after a 1-month break after finishing the 2012 list. And yeah, we are at the beginning, at the top of the 2022 list of the films we haven't covered.
So complicated.
Which is Cleo from 5 to 7.
Let's just say we're on the 2022 list.
Yes.
But obviously not repeating movies that we've already done.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So Cleo is number 14.
Right.
So yeah, we're going from the top.
Okay.
And we're still going to ping pong.
Was this on the 2012 list, like the 250?
I don't know, because I can't find the 2012 250 list anywhere. It must have been, though.
I think so.
So I'm going to stop even mentioning the 2012 list is dead to us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We only spent the last 3.5 years of our lives on it.
Yeah.
The 2012 list is dead to us.
It is.
I'm going to pull that as a sound clip. Yeah. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but here we are, and we're at Cleo from 5 to 7. So
Stone Cold Classic.
Yeah, Stone Cold Classic. Welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Jackie, before we get into the movie, because it's been a month, are there 2 to maybe 3 things you saw in the last month that you'd like to share?
Yeah. I did finally see Juliet of the Spirits.
Oh my God.
It's so good.
You know what?
What?
The first time I saw it, I didn't love it. Second time, I was like, oh, this is like my number 2 maybe.
Wow.
After La Dolce Vita. I like it more than 8.5. I think it does what 8.5 does, but it's more interesting. It's like 8.5 is the director's perspective, and then Juliet of the Spirits is like his wife. And I think it's just it's less egotistical, more interesting movie. Sorry.
Yeah. And it's beautiful, like its color, and I loved it. I love her. And then, I saw a bunch. I saw the Barbara Stanwyck movie, the noir Sorry, Wrong Number. Have you seen that?
I haven't.
It's very campy and very fun, but then the ending is like super serious, and I was shocked. It's really good.
Okay.
It's really good. And then I saw Pride and Prejudice at AMC twice because it was out for the re-release. You know how you have to see like 2 movies at AMC to make the A-list worth it?
Yeah.
That month, it was just Pride and Prejudice for me. I just saw it twice.
I should have gone. You should have.
Because seeing it on the big screen was like, it was so nice.
Heaven.
It was heaven. I was crying. When it opened, like when it starts, and it starts like beautifully, I was crying.
Wow.
And I was crying at the end too, at the climax, which is very iconic. Greg, I wish you saw it.
I know.
It's such a perfect movie.
I think because Molly just went without me. She went with a friend, and then I was like, I didn't even have a chance to even like make the decision. It's just like, oh, she's
so
going.
Good.
I'm like,
Donald Sutherland is the whole cast is incredible. Every single person in this cast is amazing. But Donald Sutherland is so good.
Oh.
As Mr. Bennett. Ugh, I love him.
Mr. Bennett.
Yes. What a movie. What a picture. That's it. That's me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's the highlights?
Yeah.
I think you've seen this One Way Passage. 1932. It has
Yes.
William Powell.
Oh, where he's on death
Kay
row
Francis. Yes.
and she's dying.
Yes.
Oh,
that was great.
Yeah.
It's like an hour long. Like, are
it's
you kidding
so interesting,
me?
But it has a happy ending, right? Because at the end, I remember it's like New Year's.
For
right?
people who haven't seen it. I also saw the first two films in Steve McQueen's Small Axe series. The first two movies being Mangrove and Lover's Rock, both of which are incredible. And so I'm really excited to see the rest of those. He's so good.
Do you have that Criterion?
I do, yeah. I blind bought it because I'm like, I love him. And yeah, no one seems to really talk about him after a certain point. Maybe after 12 Years a Slave, he kind of just like, I guess he did Widows, which I haven't seen, which I think people didn't love. And then after that, no one talks about him.
But Small Axe always seemed, I really wanted to see it.
It's great. Yeah, it's really, really good. And then the last one I'll share, I saw Sinners. Did you see Sinners?
No, not yet.
Oh, really? That's the big one on everyone's.
I know, and I never saw it. It's still out, right?
It's still out, yeah. Okay, it's still selling out, like the IMAX screenings.
Did you see IMAX?
No, because I couldn't. It was sold. They would go on sale and then immediately sell out.
I love that.
Yeah. It's okay. I didn't love it as much as everyone else.
Yeah.
I think, without spoiling anything, although I think most people have seen it except for you.
Well, I was too busy seeing Pride and Prejudice twice.
It's full of life and it's absolutely worth seeing, but it also has some problems and
okay,
but worth watching.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I'll say.
All right.
Anyway, should we get into this week's film?
Yes.
From 1962, this is Agnès Varda's Cléo from 5 to 7.
Cleo from 5 to 7 was released in 1962. It was written and directed by Agnès Varda. Cinematography by Paul Bonny, Alain Levon, and Jean Rabier. Music by Michel Legrand. Cleo, a Parisian singer, anxiously awaits medical test results and fears she has stomach cancer. She visits a tarot card reader who confirms death and rebirth are near. In real time, she spends the day distracting herself until her doctor's call in the evening. She shops for a new hat, goes to cafes, has rehearsal with her composers, meets a friend, and watches a silent film in between having emotional outbursts about her uncertain fate. Her lover is absent, and she relies on the company of her assistant, Angèle. Toward the end of the film, Cleo visits a park she's never been to before and meets a young soldier on his last day of leave, Antoine. She tells him of her situation, and he proposes they spend the rest of the date together. He will accompany her to her doctor, and she will see him off at the train station. Antoine distracts Cleo with their conversation. When she finally does see her doctor, he tells her that she will need radiation therapy, but assures her there is nothing to worry about. Cleo and Antoine walk side by side. Antoine regrets that he can't stay with her through this, but she assures him she isn't afraid. She is happy. The film stars Corinne Marchand as Cleo Victoire, whose real name is Florence, actually. Antoine Bourseillet as Antoine, Dominique Davray as Angèle. The composer, Michel Legrand, appears as Bob, who is Cleo's pianist. Varda met Corinne after she appeared in Jacques Demy's Lola.
Great movie.
Yes. There aren't that many production facts about this one, which is weird because it's such a famous film. But it was shot on Paris's Left Bank. Agnès Varda, of course, was a member of the Left Bank branch of the French New Wave. The title is Cleo from 5 to 7, but the film technically only goes until 6:30 p.m. But the phrase 5 to 7 is known as the off of work before going home time period of the day, and it kind of implies extramarital affairs. That's when people meet their lovers.
I see.
Le Dôme, which is the cafe where Cleo plays her song on the jukebox, is still standing. But I looked into a lot of the other locations and the hat store is not there anymore. Her apartment is still there. You can kind of see the outside of her apartment and the courtyard. Agnès Varda has called this film the portrait of a woman painted onto a documentary about Paris, which reads, The silent film that Cleo watches is called The Fiancés of the Bridge McDonald, and it was shot for the film. It stars Jean-Luc Godard and Anna Karina, plus Sammy Frey, who is in Band of Outsiders, and Jean-Claude Brialy, who is from Claire's Knee.
Okay.
So they all, like, one of them's the ambulance driver, one of them is the hearse driver. There is a longer version of the silent film, like over 5 minutes, but I believe it's a little chopped up for the movie. The film was shot in the summer of 1961. It's set, the actual day this film is set is June 1st, 1961. The film opened at the Cannes Film Festival, and those are my specs.
Cool. Yeah.
A lot of these I've noticed, like these French New Wave films, they don't have a ton of production history like documented.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, just because they were so low budget and they were so off the cuff, and they probably like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's a short documentary where she's talking about it a little bit on the channel. That's what I watched and got some facts out of.
Okay.
But yeah, super low budget, super small crew. They worked like starting at 5 a.m. She said they shot in the summer because the days were really long, so they got up early and really made the most of every day.
Yeah, true low budget production.
Yeah.
Very cool. Initial thoughts?
God, what is there to say about such a stone cold classic?
I mean, a lot of these have been, but yes, absolutely.
Like, what initial thoughts can we say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love this movie. I loved this movie since the first time I saw it. It is like one of the most quintessential French New Wave films, I think. It's a quintessential Agnès Varda film, quintessential Paris film. It's very simple, but it's very textured. It's very layered. I feel like I'm walking around Paris. I feel like I'm feeling Paris and smelling it and all of that. I really love it because it's realistic, but there are moments of like true movie magic in it. And I think that she plays with that balance so well. Like the color switch in the beginning and the musical number. The hero is layered and she goes through a big transformation in 90 minutes in real time. So I think that that's really impressive. And yeah, this time around, I really saw a lot of the Before trilogy, like when she meets Antoine, especially,
Totally.
and they're just walking and talking in real time.
Yeah.
And then they even have a bus ride together, which also happens in Before Sunrise. In this film, Agnès Varda is playing homage to Sunrise, Song of Two Humans, when they take that trolley ride.
Okay.
And then I think Before Sunrise did a similar thing when they're in their trolley. And then they also go to a cafe in Before Sunrise where you kind of hear everyone's conversation. And I'm sure Linklater was influenced by this as well.
I don't think Linklater ever got to this one.
Are you joking?
Of course. He seems very well read and well watched.
My favorite fact about him is I think before he was going to make his first feature, he was like, nah, I'm going to spend one more year and just watch movies.
I was just about to share that. Yeah. He's like, I don't think I've quite seen all I need to see yet. And yeah, he just watched more Bergman and Varda and everything. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts?
I like it a lot. I mean, what's not to like? I think it's a great movie. And I think immediately the movie starts and it's a much more assured and felt movie than almost anything that Godard has done.
What are you comparing?
Because they're in the same movement at the same time and he's in this. And
yeah,
I think the beginning too with the tarot, it's a brilliant setup because immediately you get her character and also the drive of the film.
Yeah.
Of what the drive's going to be. And it's all laid out in this brilliant tarot sequence.
Yeah.
Economy of storytelling. It's just in the way that the titles come up over the cards. I love all that stuff. But yeah, I like the movie quite a bit. As I get older, not like I'm an old man or anything, but movies about sort of these this movie is very cute. Sometimes it gets a little cloying. This type of movie, these sort of freewheeling French New Wave movies where it's like, look, we're in France and we're doing whimsical things. And you're like, okay. I think there's a little bit of that in this. Honestly, there's a couple moments in this movie I'm slightly annoyed. Actually, the one with Michel Legrand, where it's like, they're playing and rehearsing the songs, and they come in and pretend to be the doctors, and I'm like, okay. Also, another moment I'm kind of annoyed in this is when there's too much of that silent film that was clearly made for this movie, and of course, yeah, you just see Godard's ugly mug, but like there's too much of that. There's too much. It goes on for a little too long. It's a little too cute. I think my initial So I used to have a poster for this hanging in my apartment. In my last apartment, I had a huge CLEO poster. So it's like I really like the movie, but part of me wishes this was about like a middle-aged woman who's not cool waiting for test results. Like that's the Greg version.
Interesting.
But instead she's like this singer and she's beautiful and she has all these sort of whimsical friends, and it's like I do like that, and I love how the movie does deal with fame, right? Of like she's famous, but she's not happy, and she's really self-conscious.
Gonna lose her life. She's gonna probably.
Well, I feel like the movie's not totally clear on that. It's like you're gonna start treatment and it'll be fine. Maybe he's just saying that. They
always say that.
Yeah.
I think because of the tarot card opening, it's pretty clear that she's gonna die. Like that woman is very scared. When Cleo's like, "Can you read my palm?" and she's like, she looks at her palm and then she's like, "I don't do palms." And then she straight up, that beautiful shot, which I love, that long shot where she walks Cleo out and then opens the other door to that guy and is like, she's doomed. Like,
yeah.
So,
I think you're right.
My
maybe,
reading is she is, and that's interesting, Greg. But I just feel like it is important. Like, I like this version because she said, like, and I guess we can just get into talking about Cleo's character.
Yeah.
If you're done with your initial thoughts.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
So Varda said something important. She said in the first half of the movie, Cleo is seen. And she's seen by all these people. And we see, like, she's superficial. She's beautiful. Her value lies in her youth and her beauty and her talent. There's, like, that shot of multiples of her in the mirror, you know, like it's always like her being seen. And she says, like, as long as I'm beautiful, I'm alive. And I love the mirrors and the reflections in the store when she's shopping for her hat. Her room looks like a doll's house, like straight up.
Yeah.
And her lover tells her, like, your beauty is your health. But then when she rips off that wig and she puts on that black dress and she goes out into the city, she sees for the first time. That's what Agnès Varda said. So, like, the first half is like she is being seen, and the second half is she is seeing for the first time, and she observes people, and she realizes, A, she's not as famous as she thought she was.
Yeah.
Her diva-ness is not warranted or important to her personality.
Yeah.
I mean, like, she puts on that song at the cafe, no one's even listening.
That's one of the key scenes
humbled.
For me. Yeah.
She even says, she's like, I think everyone is looking at me, but I only look at myself. And, like, it's really like a wake-up call, and it's really telling you that, like, nothing is promised, nothing is guaranteed. You can be, in your head, you can be on top of the world, but you don't matter, really.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And I love that about that. And if it was about a middle-aged woman, that would not, the entire thesis of the film is off.
No, I know. It'd be a completely different movie. Yes.
And the beautiful thing is that the fear starts to fade when her value lies completely in, like, those external things. And then when she meets the guy, like, it starts to fade because now she has something more meaningful and she gets out of her own head. And that's kind of, like, the ending, I think, is a little bit of a fantasy, too. Because, like, in my mind, it's like, if you do find love, I would be more scared. I'd be like, oh my God, now I have a lot to lose. But in this, it's interesting because it's like, okay, now that I have love, I don't care about dying.
Yeah. I honestly, too, I think it's a little naive.
It's a fairy tale almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fairy tale. And I love that when she's hanging out with her model friend, she notices how in love that friend is with her projectionist boyfriend.
Yes.
And they have this, like, shitty car.
Yeah.
And they're so happy.
Well, he works this very working class
and she kind of sees that. And
film projectionist.
And they even say, I think the friend says, like, love's all you need to confide in someone. And obviously Cleo doesn't have that. And then the friend says something else really interesting. I love the friend as, like, the foil of her. Because Cleo's like, oh my God, aren't you, like, embarrassed to be naked in front of all these, you know, these sculptors? And Cleo's friend says, my body makes me happy, not proud. Which I think is such a good line.
Yeah.
Where for Cleo, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, her whole value lies in her looks.
Yeah.
So I think it's beautiful. I think her transformation is beautiful. If it is a little bit of a fairy tale, if it is a little bit naive, like, again, that's what I love about the movie, is that it is this document of Paris, super realistic in some aspects, and then in other aspects it gets into fantasy, which I love.
Yeah, it's like heightened.
The song number.
Mm-hmm.
So do you not like the song number, or you don't like the scene? Like, you think they're being too cute?
They're being too cute. I don't know.
It's funny because Michel Legrand, if you just took him out of this movie and placed him in Highland Park, you would never be able to tell that he was from the 60s.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like a modern hipster. It's really weird.
Well, because again, everything's cyclical and all fashions come back around. And I think the 60s kind of had this like timeless, cool style that still finds its way into modern, cool culture. But yeah, he looks great. He has great hair. And then the other guy, the lyricist, has like fucked up teeth and like has like bottle glasses, Coke bottle glasses.
Yeah.
But no, totally. But just to touch on what you said too, I think there is something about, again, the ending with her being like, I'm fine, I'm happy, I'm content, it's okay, is partly her in denial because she has to feel some way about it. And it's almost like, I guess that's happened to most people in real life, where you get really bad news or something terrible happens and you immediately feel it and it feels terrible and heavy and overwhelming. And then 10 minutes later, you've convinced yourself, no, hold on, it'll be okay. Like, it's fine. Even if in your head, you're like, nope, it's not going to be okay.
It's also interesting that Antoine, who is kind of the fun and like goofy and he's always making her laugh, like, he's very serious when the doctor says it. He even says like, oh my God, like, I wish I could stay here with you.
Yeah.
So that turn is interesting. But
I love that too. I just wish it was a little bit more. I guess he, at the end, he's not like all smiles. Like, she's like, I'm fine.
They smile at each other, I think, the last shot.
Yeah, it's a little too much.
I love it. But I love Antoine when he sees her and he's just talking so much and he says like, Moon leaves Gemini for Cancer today. And she's like, shut up. Because he says the word cancer.
Oh, yeah. Well, and also he's going back to the war in Algeria, and we covered Battle of Algiers
too. Yeah,
this
so
ties
that's
in ping pong.
Literally, it's all connected.
No, we didn't. We did that one,
but he's got it bad too, and he has such a good attitude.
Yeah.
And then I love the moments. I love their moments together. Like, I love. There's a part when they're sitting on that bench, and she's looking at his jacket, and he's looking at her.
Yeah,
and it's a very beautiful shot, and like. The fact that he finds out her real name and we don't find out her real name until then. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I love how the tarot card reader said, you're going to meet a talkative man.
That's right.
And he even says, being naked is for everyone, which of course, like she's being challenged. But no, I love him and I love their meeting and I love,
I think
I love the movie.
No, their section together is my favorite stretch of the movie. I think leading up to I think everything you said, it's when it flips and she takes off her wig, that second half of the movie is much more. But again, it's intentionally different, but it's much richer.
For sure.
And it's like her going to the cafe and putting on her song and no one caring, and then her meeting him, and that's all the best part of the movie. I love all that stuff. But yeah, her in front of the waterfall. And I love how too, like, he comes in and he's kind of this like mosquito. Like, she's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But then he like very quickly wins her over. He charms her.
Yeah.
But and he charms us too. Because when you first meet him, you're like, fuck off, dude. Like,
she's having her moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about what a different film it would be if he didn't enter in that final act and she just kind of wandered over and got her results.
You'd probably like that more.
No, not necessarily. No. I like it better this way because, obviously it's an emotional journey with her of like, she's waiting for these results and she fluctuates in between being kind of carefree and trying to forget it. And then it kind of crashing in hard. Like when someone mentions, there's a couple times in this movie, outside of him saying cancer, someone else will say something and it reminds her and she gets mad.
Yeah.
And so it's like her trying to forget about it. But, I like the fact that she meets him and he's able to take her mind off it for a while. And then she tells him and they form this companionship. Like I do really like that.
Yeah. But I also love this as like a document of Paris, like just seeing her walk from place to place. Like we have this perfect real time, let's say, like just like document of Paris from 1961, which I think is is really awesome. Like, I love the female cab driver. I love the radio telling us like exactly what's going on that day. I love the park, which I wanted to go to last time I was in Paris, but I didn't make it. I need to know more about the Frogman.
Yeah. Is he spitting this up afterwards?
What is his story? And I love, love, love the cafe walkthrough. Like, I could watch 2 hours of that.
Yeah.
Again, very before sunrise. And she's hearing everyone's stories and she's seeing all these faces and she's wearing those great glasses. I love it so much.
I think in a way, you mentioned the before movies. This movie's also kind of like an amalgamation of almost the three of those movies.
Yeah.
And if people haven't seen them, not that there's anything to really give away, but each of them has a different tone. And the first movie is very much kind of the first part of this movie. But
it's more when she meets him.
It's more than she meets him, but it has a very optimistic kind of young love feel to it. Whereas then the other two mature and get a little bit more real.
Yeah.
And which are, the third one's my favorite.
The third one's my favorite. Huh?
But like, so it's interesting that the movie this kind of has all elements of all three of those before movies in it.
That's interesting.
It doesn't really have the ugliness of the third one, actually. Maybe not. But
I mean, she does have cancer, but
yeah. So it's a stomach cancer?
Yeah.
What's the survival rate on that? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I know it's painful.
I don't know.
It's painful.
You know how when I think of stomach cancer, all I think of is Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh, yes. Because he lies about it and then he's eating cheeseburgers. Yeah. Whenever I think of it, I think of Patrick Swayze. Because his wife said he would just like curl up in a ball in the bathroom in pain, like in the middle of the night, which is heartbreaking.
Oh my God. It's 36%. That's not very high.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
the younger you are, and Cleo is in her 20s here, clearly, but
it's the 60s.
It's the 60s, yeah. And I think too, any kind of radiation where you're a singer you use your voice for a living.
No, she's done. She got humbled though. Like, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, she really did.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the opening though. We didn't talk too much about it.
I love it. Why do you think it's in color?
So Agnès Varda said.
Oh.
She said the opening is in color because it's fiction. And then the rest of it is like reality in black and white.
Okay.
Which is interesting. It's an interesting take because in my mind, if something is in color, it's more realistic. But I guess back then in the 60s, it was very much like, okay, Technicolor, fantastical.
Look at her husband's movie around the same time, Umbrellas of Cherbourg.
Exactly. So that's why she said the beginning is color and then it goes to black and white. And goes to black and white very abruptly. That's what I love about it so much.
It even cuts back and forth for a second.
Cuts back and forth. Whenever we're on their faces, it's black and white. And whenever we're on the cards, it's color because
so the
it's
cards are fantasy.
Yeah, but it's a fantasy that she believes. Like, that's what Agnès Varda said.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's clear it's not the first time she's added tarot card, which I like.
Yeah, yeah.
Because she's like, I know what to do.
No, and someone like her, this is part of her whole sort of whimsical thing. It's like she's the singer and she probably gets her cards read all the time.
Yeah. And that was like the fad, I guess.
It's like crystals now. Although I don't know if crystals are still in fashion or not. Are they? Maybe that was very like 10 years ago.
Not even, like 4.
The House of Intuition.
Mm-hmm. I love, at one point we cut back to her face and there's like one tear streaming down. Like a black mascara tear, which I love.
Later on with the military guy, you see there's some tears down his face too at the end.
Aww. He's got such a sweet face.
Yeah, he does. It's
he's not going to hurt you.
Interesting how he wins you over.
You want to talk about the silent film?
I mean, what's there to say? Go ahead.
Nothing. I don't really have
much. Too much.
Why?
It's too cute.
Fun.
They should have just got an actual. They should have just showed like 20 seconds of like a Harold Lloyd movie or something, and just gotten it over with.
Looks like Harold Lloyd.
Yeah, it's clear that that's what they're going for, but it was just like, I don't know. That was a little superfluous for my taste.
If it wasn't him.
It goes on. No, it's not even that it's Godard. It's just, it goes on for too long. And I get it. She's getting joy from this moment.
She's getting distracted.
And it's Agnès Varda's statement on what the healing power or the distraction of cinema, of like what it can do. And all that stuff and how they're all crammed up in the projection room and they're all watching this and getting so much delight from it. And the husband or the boyfriend forgets to even turn off the lights after the movie ends. But it's just like, that's the movie. I don't know. They could have got like an actual. I feel like it was cheaper to license things back then. I don't know. Or even just honestly, I would have rather just seen her face looking at it, and you hear music and you hear the movie playing. So I think when you see it, it's just so clear that it was made for this movie. It in no way feels authentic, and it's just like,
Okay, I think it's fun. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun, like, colleagues working with colleagues thing, cameos. I like it.
I don't know, but see, that's what I don't like about it. I'm like, just make your movie, you know?
Okay. How do you feel about the assistant?
I like her.
I love her.
Yeah, she's great.
I love her.
Yeah. And again, it's like she's the one that really runs her life. You know, she's telling her who and who not to be with.
Yeah.
When they're at the haberdashery and they're like, oh, will you sign something for us? She's the one that responds, yes, she will. Like,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But she's also superstitious. She's like, you can't wear new clothes on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You can't carry new things on a Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, that goes, I'm not going to name any names, but, you know, I think me and, well, I'm sure we all have had encounters with famous people in LA. And I think like Molly had an encounter with someone who's very famous. His name I'm not going to say, obviously, but she walked her to her car because she's so famous that there were people outside waiting for her by her on the sidewalk to take pictures and stuff. And this actress thanked Molly by giving her like a thing of like crystals, like a box.
That's so funny.
So it's like there's this to this day, like really famous people and just this sort of upper echelon of like artsy kind of bohemian rich weirdos who are like super into, you know, superstitious and stuff.
Yeah. That's interesting.
There's a moment, and again, it's just like the movie is so playful stylistically, like when it begins, like with the tarot cards, the color, the black and white, the way the titles are coming up, it's all beautifully done. But I think it reaches its playfulness in a way that's not showy in the scene where they're in her penthouse and the assistant, Angel or whatever her name is, she's like swinging. There's like a swing there or something. And the camera's kind of following her with the swing, but then it pans over and then we're swaying on Cléo and Michel Legrand. So like, but the camera is still swinging.
Yeah.
And it's like a fun, playful. Like,
I love it.
It adds to it just works.
It is. It's very fun.
Yeah.
The musical number though, I do love it because it starts out very straightforward.
Yes.
Then the camera starts turning and turning, and then it seems like she's like on a black background. But then when we pull back, we just realize that the curtain behind her was just black. And I think that's really fun.
I think it's trash and it should have been cut. I'm just kidding.
But I always appreciate how people go into musical numbers and how they come out of it. And I think that this is a really fun one.
It is.
And I think her house is really interesting in that, again, like the whole movie is super realistic, except whose house looked like that? No one.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a doll's house.
Yeah. It's very light. There's
no furniture,
furry carpets, very barren, and
By the way, her boyfriend is also from Juliet of the Spirits.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he looked familiar.
Yeah. So
Nice.
It's so funny. He popped up. I'm like, oh, I just saw this guy. But yeah, he's like older than her, and he doesn't really like listen to her or understand her.
Was this Varda's big break? Or did she have something?
Her first feature is called La Pointe Courte.
Oh, right.
Which is it's really interesting. I just watched it recently. It's like it takes place in this village, and it's like this couple that's basically like on the outs, and but you really meet the village. It's like part documentary, part fiction. It's really cool.
Oh, cool.
But this went to Cannes, so
right. This
probably?
was like her big announcement on the scene.
I think so.
It's important to note too, in terms of like the French New Wave. If 1959 was 400 Blows, 1960 was Breathless. So this is 1962.
And her first feature was 1954.
Right.
So it's
wow.
like before.
Cool.
Before
the official start of the New Wave. I think that's so cool. And yeah, just to contextualize this movie in terms of being in that first wave of like the initial classics. How do you think it holds up to something like Breathless or 400 Blows?
I like this more than Breathless, I think.
Oh, for sure. What about 400 Blows?
About the same.
Yeah.
I love them about the same, I think.
For me, 400 Blows is still kind of at the top. And then this is below that. And then Breathless is down further.
Then there's like My Night at Maud's.
Right. Yes. Romer.
Good.
Yeah. That's a beautiful movie.
Of course, the other Left Bank biggie, which is Alan Renee. And also Chris Marker.
Yeah.
Which we just did La Jetée.
We haven't done any Renee for the show.
You're right. But Marion Ben. No, not Marion Ben.
Hiroshima?
I'm sure that's on the top.
It's not on the 100, no.
Really?
Yeah. It should be.
I know, I love that movie.
That's a great movie. Yeah, I think this movie's great. I think this movie's great, but I don't love it. If that makes sense. Like, I have a few notes. I was about to say no notes. I have a few notes, like I've already discussed. I think it's a very good movie. And I think even just putting it on last night to prep for today, I was struck by how much better it is than anything Godard ever did, outside of like Vive sa vie. But like, and just how Agnès Varda, her stuff just feels right. Like,
I know.
You start an Agnès Varda film and you just feel like you're in great hands.
Yeah.
And she's so versatile, and like her movies are so, like her body of work is so vast. And again, one of those directors that oscillated between documentary and fiction, and then, like you said, sometimes combined them where it's like part documentary, part, narrative story. But she's just she makes it look so effortless, and she's just so like such a generous filmmaker.
I agree.
And I think a good combination of like an intellectual and emotional filmmaker.
Yeah. I mean, her films are more openly emotional than something like Godard, let's say.
Yeah. Or Truffaut. I mean, no, Truffaut.
Pretty.
No, I'm saying her and Truffaut are on a closer plane.
Yeah. Even like with Romer. Romer's very.
Yeah, he is.
He is what?
Playful and felt. Or you think he's a little colder?
He's a little colder than. I wouldn't say he's on the same level as them.
I
still love his films, but it's more like he makes you work a little harder to get to the emotional place.
And then Renee on the far other end.
Yeah.
See, Renee is a more, I guess, intellectual filmmaker.
Yeah.
But his work just hits so much harder than Godard.
You always go back. I think you're obsessed.
Watch, I open, like in my room, I like open the door and there's a huge like Godard thing.
I've never even met someone who loves Godard as much as you hate him. I think you overhype how much people love him. Like, I think you're just defensive.
No, he's considered one of the greats. I think if a lot of people were forced to put together a 10 greatest directors list, a lot of people would put Godard on that 10.
Interesting.
I mean, as we saw, he had 4 films on the 2012 list. 4.
Yeah.
That is profane. Anyway.
Sight and sound?
Yeah, what's your favorite sight from CLEO?
It is when they're in the back of the trolley and there's the series of jump cuts where they're just like looking at each other.
Oh.
It's so sweet.
It's such a Jackie pick.
I love it. It's very beautiful. It's very effective.
There's that great shot where he's just kind of staring at her.
Yeah.
And then
she's kind of looking around. But she'll look at him every now and then. And like before sunrise.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's my fave. What's
Beautiful.
yours?
Mine is the kittens in her room. She has all these kittens flopping around. They're like literal like month-old kittens, and they're literally just like being playful and flopping around, and like they're on her bed, they're on the floor, they're on the carpet.
Where are they pooping?
Oh yeah.
Where are they pooping? Where are they peeing?
Well, Angèle is cleaning it all up. That's what she's there for.
Sucks. What's your favorite sound?
My favorite sound is the song that she sings.
It is so good.
And it was almost combined sight and sound. And
Sans toi.
it's because the whole scene, they are practicing and they're kind of riffing like, oh, what about this song? What about that song? This song starts and then, like you said, it gets dramatic and it pushes in and
a musical
it becomes,
number.
and she looks towards the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way that whole thing is done. So
let's hear it.
Here's a clip.
Que recouvre la mer, mes plages se dévident, sans toi, sans toi. Belle en pure perte, nue au cœur de
yeah, it's amazing. And then again, like you said, like she's taken out of it and she gets incensed when she's like, why do you have me singing these words? Like, why is this all about tragedy? And like, it just hits extra harder.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, Michel Legrand was the composer for all of Jacques Demy's work, right?
Yeah, uh-huh. Umbrellas,
I believe
Rochefort. Yeah. Lola's a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also Victoria Legrand's uncle.
Oh.
From Beach House. What's your favorite sound?
It happens early on. It's when she's leaving the tarot card reader and the music cue starts, like the score, right as she starts like clip-clopping down the stairs in her high heels. So it's a perfect combination of that like clip-clop and the music.
Wow.
Here it is. If anyone knows me, I'm a big sucker for the clip clop.
Me too. Me too.
I love in old movies when you just hear every step. I love it.
Yeah, it's a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
I think I shared this on the show before, but I have that thing mildly where sometimes I associate sounds with like other things or like textures or food.
Are you one of those people that sees the color of numbers?
No.
Oh.
I'm not. But they say like a lot of creative people have that. I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but no, but I see the clip clop of shoes like we just heard. I associate with a linoleum floor. And as a kid too, I imagined that clopping sound. Like I could take a bite out of the linoleum floor. And as I took a bite, it would be like malt, like from a malt ball.
That's cool.
And I still kind of have that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I just picture like nicely dressed people in the 60s.
It's such a satisfying sound. It's amazing.
And I love when there's a little bit of gravel, especially when it's men's shoes.
Oh, yeah.
You can hear slight gravel. I love it.
And so we did, when we did The Godfather and we had Daisuke on, I remember his favorite sound was the feet in the gravel, like the walking in the gravel sound. Yeah. Pauline Kael.
Yeah.
All right. We just have a small snippet from her, but here's what she had to say about Cléo. Pauline Kael says, one of the few films directed by a woman in which the viewer can sense a difference.
Wow.
The story is about the moods of a beautiful, chic, popular singer during the 2 hours she waits to find out if she has cancer. Childish and fearful, she consults her horoscope and goes to a fortune teller. She buys a hat. She rehearses a song. She cries. And throughout, the writer-director, Agnès Varda, sustains an unsentimental yet subjective tone that is almost unique in the history of movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
High praise.
Yeah.
I love to see it.
I love that. Yeah, beautifully said, Pauline.
And I love how in the moment this film is, how straightforward it is. I love that. I love when they're driving too and they make a comment of like, why are all of these streets named after people who are like long dead? Like, why can't we have it named after Bardot or Piaf or Aznavour?
Yeah.
I love that line. Like, it's so in the moment, this film, and I love how, yeah, like it truly is. She was absolutely right, Agnès Varda herself, when she said like, this is a documentary about Paris, but also this woman laid on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And I just love it. And I'm glad Pauline also felt that. Because you can't, like, I think you can feel that it's directed by a woman.
Oh, yeah. I think so, too.
So, I love it.
Yeah, beautifully said. Letterbox?
Yes. Someone gave it 4 stars and said, the perfect movie to watch before the corona test results kick
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Someone gave it 4.5 stars, and it's just a quote from the movie. It's what the soldier says. She says, dying for nothing, that's what upsets us.
Damn.
It's true. When you think about it, too, the soldier, as we covered in Battle of Algiers, like, he could very well meet his demise shortly, too.
Yeah.
So they both have death hanging over them.
Yeah. And yet they fall in love.
I mean, love? There's a connection. They've known each other for like 40 minutes.
I feel like that's a thing of like French New Wave films. And I feel like I read this before, I heard this before, where it's like a lot of them wrap up of like, love is the answer.
Right.
I feel like that's very true in this. It's true in like Love in the Afternoon, which I love. Not to overuse the word love, but.
Well, it is you we're talking about. Someone gave it 4.5 stars. I love this. And they say, everyone's going to razz me for not having seen this already, but I think it's great that I waited till I got into luxury robes to watch it.
That's funny. Again, yeah, her robe is like super unrealistic. Who wears that? Someone gave it 4 stars and said, I wish an hour and a half of my day was nearly this eventful. Oh my God, Greg, I found you. 3 stars. Dear God, give us Agnès Varda back and we'll give you Jean-Luc Godard. This must have been while he was still around. Yeah, 2019.
Oh, God. All right, 0.5 star. Wow, what a fucking shit show. CLEO 5 to 7 is the cinematic equivalent of watching paint dry, but in slow motion and with less color.
Oh,
why?
My God.
Because for 2 hours, we're subjected to CLEO's complete inability to do anything remotely interesting, like, I don't know, actually facing her impending death. Instead, she spends an excruciating amount of time thinking about hats and how she looks. We don't even get a solid explanation of why she's obsessing over her appearance when there's a potential cancer diagnosis looming. It's like if you had a friend who was more concerned about finding the right filter on Instagram than, say, avoiding a meteor crashing toward Earth. Also, the whole real-time gimmick just makes you feel like you're stuck in an elevator with someone who refuses to stop talking about their new perfume. 0 stars. Would rather watch a 12-hour documentary on paint drying.
What the
See, now this person completely missed the point of the film.
And that is kind of the point of the film, is she's using all these things to distract herself, and she's so obsessed with her appearance and completely missed it. I want to know what they think of Jeanne Dielman.
Well, I'm also going to this person's Letterboxd, and their top 4 include The Revenant and Step Brothers and Paddington 2. Like, Paddington's delightful, but come on, top 4. And they also gave Drive 5 stars. So...
You're so judgy.
Sorry. It's like, it feels super shady because it's not even like these people submitted to the show. Like, we're just pulling
That's why
them.
we don't say their names.
Yeah. But hey, you publish on Letterboxd. It's public, you know? It's
so funny. I'm dead. But yeah, completely wrong.
Yes.
In every way.
Yep. That is infuriating to read. I should set the record straight, too, that I think this is a great movie. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just not emotional about it.
Yeah, I'm not emotional. Yeah. I think it's a great film. Yeah, it's great. It deserves, is it top 100? Actually, you know what? I don't know. Because she has films that I like a lot more than Cleo. And I think Cleo's great. But I think Vagabond, for one, is better than Cleo. I even think
It's towards the end of the
Le
list.
Bonheur is, I think if I had to pick, I'd probably pick that over Cleo.
No, I love Cleo. I think
Yeah.
Cleo should be on the list because I think it's a quintessential New Wave film.
It is, and it is. But that begs the question is like, if something is a quintessential film for a certain movement or a certain filmmaker, does that automatically warrant inclusion on the list?
Huh. I feel like in a way, yes. Like I'm not mad that, let's say, Citizen Kane is on the list. I think it should be on the list.
Yeah.
Because it is a quintessential film.
Right.
Even though I'm not emotional about it.
But we've done some quintessential films where we're like, this shouldn't be on the list anymore.
Like what?
And see, now I'm like struggling to think.
Name one.
Who gets you?
I don't think that's quintessential.
Okay. Not as quintessential as Cleo.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, it's not that I don't think this should be on the top 100 because it is great. And you're right. I don't know.
It's also super influential.
It is, yeah.
It's also just my vibe.
It's a very Jackie vibe. Yeah.
I love movies where the protagonist is not active. Can I just say?
Yeah.
I love that. And
Also,
I hate when people are like, well, she's not doing anything.
I
It's like,
know.
no, that's the point.
And also in that last review saying that she's not facing her impending
what do
diagnosis.
you mean? She's having emotional breakdowns every 5 minutes.
And also, what do you expect to happen in real life? The whole time, you're not going to just be sitting there being like, okay, here we go. Like, it's going to be you trying to distract yourself. And like, also, yeah, she's a singer. She has some money. And like, of course, she's going to go clothes shopping because everyone knows retail therapy. It takes your mind off of what you're really thinking about. So,
Literally.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Anyway,
I think it should be on the list, but
that's fair.
That's me.
Yeah. I mean, I am not mad it's on the list. I think it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I think some Varda hits a little harder with me, but this is, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you're right. If there's one quintessential Varda film, it is this.
Even though I love Vagabond more.
Yeah, I do too.
Vagabond is also
20 years later.
Yeah, but it's on the list, but it's towards the very end.
Well, it's like 250 or something.
No. Top 100. I think it's like 101.
Oh, we might need to relook at that list because I don't have that on my 20 that we're pulling.
No. I think it's 101. So we wouldn't be covering it yet.
Okay.
But also we already covered it.
Oh, we did. Of course. There you go.
We can do it again.
Do it again.
I don't mind.
Well, this was Cleo. I'm Greg.
I'm Jackie.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Seen and Heard is an official podcast of the Arroyo Film Club. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to drop us a line, you can find us on email at hello@seenandheardpod.com or on Instagram at seenandheardpod.
Saute-toi.